Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Sunday, March 24th, NBA slate of games. We'll get started into this. We got 6 games going on today. First game going on, Pelicans at the Pistons. 12:10 out here in Phoenix, so 3:10 Eastern. Pelicans 12.5-point road favorite, 218 total. Last couple games for the Pistons have been just butt ugly, to be really honest. The Pelicans losing Brandon Ingram. They still get a big win as a dog in Miami. Now they go on the road. They had an embarrassing loss to Orlando. And I'll be really honest with you, Orlando couldn't have played a better game, and then they come and lay a shit show right behind it against the Kings. But, I mean, Orlando was hitting threes like mad crazy. And when Orlando's hitting threes, they're a really, really tough out because they have plenty of penetration to the hole. Banchero's a beast. Wendell Carter can hold his own, so on and so forth. So losing that game, they just hit a bunch of threes, kind of wipe it off the slate. They go to Miami. Zion has a horrible game, and they still figure out a way to win. With Brandon Ingram out, what it does, though, is put Trey Murphy into the starting lineup. And Trey Murphy can extend that defense a little bit more. C.J. McCollum's been so cold from three, but Murphy moved that starting lineup. Now they have another three-point shooter. Ingram's not really a great three-point shooter, more of mid-range. But Murphy's absolute dead-eye, and seen him hit 5-6 threes in a game on a pretty consistent basis when he gets to playing time. So that does open that up. Now, Detroit, one of the worst teams defending the three in the league. So that kind of opens up a little bit for Trey. I think he extends that defense out, which allows Zion to get more to the middle. Zion's had 2 rough games in a row with 5+ turnovers in each of those games. He's been on a roll. He's only had really 2 blips on the screen in almost the last 2 months when it comes to scoring and getting rebounds and assists, so on and so forth. But we like the Pelicans today. Not only that, we've always bet first quarter, first half in game, and Pelicans are still top 2 in the first halves against the number. So we'll take the Pelicans. We'll lay the big points here. -4 in the first quarter, -7.5 in the first half, -12.5 for the game. And then we'll take Zion 25+ points, 30+ points. Trey Murphy over 16.5 points, 20+ points. Jaden Ivey for the Pistons under 16.5 points. Trey Murphy 4+ threes, 5+ threes. Zion 7+ rebounds, over 38.5 par, over 2.5 turnovers. Like I said, he's had a real bad turnover run. We'll also take Jaden Ivey over 2.5 turnovers. If you drive the ball a lot on New Orleans, normally it ends up with you giving a lot of turnovers. So one of the things we definitely want to look at there on that one. So one more time, we'll run down those bets for the Pelicans Pistons, as we do have quite a few. So Pelicans -4 in the first quarter, -7.5 in the first half, -12.5 for the game. Zion 25+ points, 30+ points, 7+ rebounds, over 38.5 par, and over 2.5 turnovers. Trey Murphy over 16.5 points, 20+ points, 4+ threes, and 5+ threes. And then we'll also take Jaden Ivey under 16.5 points, as he tends to have to go to the rack to get his points, and that's a tough thing to do against the Pelicans. And then Jaden Ivey over 2.5 turnovers, as they do have a lot of length and stuff that you don't see it on an everyday basis from a lot of these teams. Next game up on the board, Clippers 76ers. So I guess sort of a revenge spot here for James Harden. One of my least favorite players in the league, but we'll leave that as it is. Clippers at home, 9.5-point favorite, 215 total. Not a surprise here on the line. I'll be really honest, I'm surprised it's not at 10.5+ yet on this one. 12:40 out here in Phoenix, so 3:40 Eastern time. I don't know how the Clippers just don't run them over. Now, the Clippers do have a tendency sometimes to play with their food, so to speak, and kind of jack more around. Or they take a lot of quick shots and don't find the best shots sometimes. That does happen. Seen it plenty of times with them, but we like the Clippers in this matchup here today. The 76ers just look overmatched almost against everybody that they play. Even with Maxey back, Tobias Harris looks like a joke. They get Buddy Hield in a trade, and he's getting called out for playing defense. Kelly Oubre is what Kelly Oubre is, which normally is take way too many dribbles. So there's just not a lot going on there for Philly. So we expect the Clippers to run them over today. We'll take the Clippers minus 3.5 in the first quarter, minus 5.5 first half, minus 9.5 for the game. We go back to our normal bet of Tobias Harris under 16.5 points, as this cashes at an alarming rate. We'll also take Tobias Harris under 26.5 par in that game. Then we've got Kawhi Leonard over 23.5 points, 2 plus threes, 3 plus threes. Kawhi Leonard over 33.5 par, and old reliable James Harden over 2.5 turnovers. I expect Harden to probably have a good game today, but a good game does not mean he won't turn the ball over 4 times. So, kind of way we look at it with Harden. Like, a lot of times he might put up some points and some threes, but he'll still turn the ball over. So, one more time in this Clippers-76ers matchup. Clippers minus 3.5 in the first quarter, minus 5.5 in the first half, minus 9.5 for the game. Tobias Harris for the 76ers under 16.5 points and under 26.5 par. And if you're new to the show, par is points, assists, rebounds. Then we've got James Harden over 2.5 turnovers, and Kawhi Leonard over 23.5 points, 2 plus threes, 3 plus threes, and over 33.5 par. I just hope they're not ahead by 30 so Kawhi doesn't play the fourth. We need those extra minutes to kind of hit those, I think, for Kawhi. So, 15-point win here. Let's win by 5, 5 a quarter basically until the fourth. I think should be a pretty easy one for him here on this one. Next game up, let's see, Cavs at the Heat. You want to talk about two teams kind of going in the wrong direction, and that's both of them, just not one. Cavs have struggled with Donovan Mitchell being out again. I don't know I think there's more to this injury with Donovan Mitchell than meets the eye, so to speak, on this one. Miami been struggle. Hero's been out for quite some time. Duncan Robinson's been out. And they just do not have the three-point shooters to spread the floor, which means a lot of congestion in the paint, which means a lot of shots not made for Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler on that one. I honestly can't, at a number of 4 and 203.5 total, I can't really pick a side here. The only thing I can think of for sure is you might want to play, I'd lean to the under here. We're not going to play that. We're just going to play a few player props in this one and get on with this game here. But Darius Garland, who's been struggling tremendously as of late. So under 20.5 points, under 2.5 threes made, and then also over 2.5 turnovers. Jared Allen has also been struggling a little bit here as of late, under 11.5 rebounds and under 30.5 par. And so one more time in this Cavs Heat game, player props only in this one for us. Darius Garland under 20.5 points, under 2.5 threes made, over 2.5 turnovers, and under 29.5 par. Jarrett Allen under 11.5 rebounds and under 30.5 par. Next game up on the board, I'm really excited to see this game here. 4:10 out here in Phoenix, 7:10 Eastern. Thunder headed to Milwaukee. Milwaukee 2.5-point home favorite, 232.5 total. So, just out of curiosity here, do we really think Milwaukee is about even with the Thunder? I don't. I know they have the star power name with Damian Lillard, with Giannis, Doc Rivers as the coach, yada, yada, yadas, right? I understand the names are there, but realistically, I think the Thunder are probably the most unheralded team in the league. Not only do they have a shot still at the 1 seed in the West, but just imagine where this team was 2 years ago. Now, since 2 years ago, they had SGA. He's turned into, he's going to be a league MVP, if not this year, in the future. Now they've got 2 future All-Stars to kind of go with it, with Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. And this team has more assets and more money available to spend to put some more shooters around, because that's basically about what they're missing. You got Holmgren, Williams, and then also SGA to kind of build your core around. Now it's about putting in pieces. I don't expect to win the NBA championship this year, But if you don't expect them to be there for the next like 5+ years, I don't know what you're thinking, because they've got this team built right. They had a lot of down years. They took on a lot of bad contracts. They took a lot of assets in return. But I honestly think that they're going to, I mean, Jalen Williams is turning into a superstar. Chet Holmgren, if it wasn't for Wembanyama, was Rookie of the Year by a landslide. Those two have been duking it out for Rookie of the Year. And Chet Holmgren's had his dips. So has Victor Wembanyama. They both have. I mean, Wembanyama didn't do much against the Suns last night. Holmgren's had a couple games where he's went off for 30+ points, but he's had more games where he's had 15. And his blocks have went quite a bit down here over the last, let's say, 3 weeks. He hasn't been getting his 3, 4, 5 blocks a game on a regular basis. It's been a lot of 2-block nights, and there's nothing wrong with 2 blocks, unless you're betting over 2.5 blocks. So on that one there. But we love this Thunder team, and getting points. I don't care what team they're playing in the league. Thunder as a dog, and there's not any injuries. We're going to ride with that one. So Thunder +0.5 first quarter. Thunder +1 first half. Thunder +2.5 for the game. And not only that, Giannis has played the last game. He was hurt a few games before that. Did anybody notice Giannis does not look like his explosive self? Like, this injury, I think, is a little bit more lagging than what we're led to believe on that one. So another reason to take the Thunder here. Holmgren, 15+ points. Holmgren, 2+3s, 3+3s. He really needs to get this 3-point stroke back, because that offense is even more deadly when he's hitting the 3. You got a stretch 5 that can hit 3s. Your offense becomes really hard to stop, especially with the way SGA and Jalen Williams can both go to the hole on that one. Holmgren also over 27.5 par, 3+ blocks. SGA, 30+ points. I understand it's juicy at 30. I feel more comfortable there. I don't think there's a way he doesn't hit 30 unless they get blown out or they blow them out. But when you start looking for 32, it sounds like only 2 points, but it can make a big difference. So SGA, so 30+ points for him. And then we're under Giannis 29.5 points, under 11.5 rebounds, and over 2.5 turnovers for Giannis. And then Damian Lillard under 3.5 threes. This Thunder defense is real as well. They're not as good as the T-Wolves defense, but they are a very good defense. They've got size, length, and speed, and can recover well. So we like, going under on these props for the Bucks is due to that Thunder defense, not just because we think they're going to have a bad shooting night or something. So let's get back to all these bets. There's a lot of them here in this game. So Thunder +0.5 first quarter, +1 first half, +2.5 for the game. Chet Holmgren, 15+ points. Holmgren, 2+3s, 3+3s, over 27.5 par, 3+ blocks. SGA, 30+ points. We're staying away from his threes as he's shooting a lot more of them now, but now all of a sudden to hit 2, he's -125 instead of +150. But feel free to load up on SGA threes, because the Bucks cannot defend the 3 at all. That is the one thing I think you're going to see in this game. That's why I think Holmgren's going to get a lot of looks from the 3-point line as well. So let's see. And then we've got Giannis under 29.5 points, under 11.5 rebounds, and over 2.5 turnovers. And that was really juicy on DraftKings, but I don't foresee a way that bet doesn't hit at 3, him getting 3 turnovers. Damian Lillard under 3.5 threes as well in that game. So, like I said, we really like that game. We like the Thunder in that matchup quite a bit. Like I said, I couldn't believe it was 2.5. I figured it'd be closer to a pick 'em. So, on that one there. Next game up, T-Wolves, Warriors. Warriors on the road in Minnesota. 2.5-point dog, 220 total. A little confused here by the line. It seems like the bookmakers think that Anthony Edwards or Rudy Gobert are not going to play, only being 2.5. So we're going to take this 2.5. We're live with this bet, I believe, even if both those guys don't play. Now that hampers that Minnesota offense, but that defense is still there, even without those 2 guys there. So the Warriors, though, have had a pretty good record against the spread on the road, but I just think this line is awful low. I expected this line at 5.5+, not 2.5. So feel like we're getting an extra 3 points here. on this one. And like I said, I think if the bookmakers thinking maybe AE or Gobert are going to be out, but we will roll with the T-Wolves here. They've been the best team in the West for most of the season. The Warriors can't seem to get out of the 9-10 spot. Just, they're barely over 500. They have a lot of exciting pieces and a lot of fun pieces to watch. I love watching Jonathan Kuminga. He's another guy that looks like him and Jalen Williams have a little similar body type where they're just big bruisers that are extremely quick and can go to the hole at any time. If they had the finishing skills of Kyrie, those guys would average 30 a night. That's what makes Kyrie so special, is he gets into the hole. He's a lot smaller, but he figures out a way to finish. A lot of guys can get to the rack, but they can't finish it all. So one thing you have to work on a lot, if that's part of your game is getting to the hole, then you got to be able to put the ball in the hoop. But we will take the T-Wolves here. Like I said, -0.5 first quarter, -1 first half, -2.5 for the game. Anthony Edwards, 30-plus points. Anthony Edwards, 35-plus points. Gobert, 15-plus points. Gobert, 14-plus rebounds. And then Steph Curry, over 2.5 turnovers. And Steph's normally good for 3 turnovers a game as well. Now, like I said, a lot of these tickets could be void, and we might replace those out. Do make sure you check out the Google Sheets at the end of every show that we do. It'll be in the comments section. It'll read docs.google.spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. This is a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we got them at, how many units we placed, what book we placed them at, then obviously the result. There are a lot of things going on right now. We just finished up Formula One. That went off yesterday. UFC went off yesterday. Formula One good. UFC lost a little bit there. March Madness going on. We had a monster last couple of days. We got a lot of bets going on there today as well. Just a lot to keep track of bet-wise that we do if you want to follow along. So make sure those Google Sheets are our ledger. That's our Bible. Even if you don't have time to check out the show or maybe just a few minutes of it, you can always refer to that Google Sheet anytime and scroll down and look up the bets to see what we've bet on there. So one more time in that T-Wolves-Warriors game. T-Wolves -0.5 first quarter, -1 first half, -2.5 for the game. Anthony Edwards, 30-plus points, 35-plus points. Gobert, 15-plus points, 14-plus rebounds. And then also Steph Curry, over 2.5 turnovers. Last game on the board, Lakers, Pacers. Somebody please help me with this one. Pacers are not great on the road. Lakers just aren't great, period. I think you pay a Lakers tax. I'll be really honest. I thought this game, I thought with the Lakers tax, we were going to be closer to 5. So 3.5 seems like a bargain, I guess, with the Lakers here. 241.5 total. The only thing I can think here is the Lakers. They are just so inconsistent throughout the game, and a lot of that has to do is they have guys that are not stars that take way too many threes, like D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Hachimura, things of that nature. LeBron's still fantastic. I think LeBron could play till he's 50 the way he's going. Anthony Davis, though, is the biggest inconsistent mark for them, and that shows up on a nightly basis. Anthony Davis should absolutely crush the Pacers. Miles Turner can get his blocks, but he's not a fantastic rim defender, I don't believe. Anthony Davis should own him. And not only that, Turner does not play 35 minutes like AD does. So he should crush him. But I can't bet him. He's just way too inconsistent. I hate giving away money on him. It drives me absolutely bonkers when I'm sitting there looking at the matchup going, oh my God, you should dominate this, and you come out and you score 20 points, and your point total is 25. And your rebound total is 14, you end up like 8. What the hell is that? That's what AD does to me on a nightly basis. That being said, we are going to bet the Lakers. I just think there's too much value here. And this is, sometimes we get beat up on these value plays where we think the line should be 5.5 and we're getting it at 3.5. So we bet it, but the value still doesn't pay off. Not saying that's going to be the case here tonight, but it's just one of those things if you consistently play it, it's going to pay off for you long term. Just sometimes you get the short term sting. So we're going to take the Lakers -1 in the first quarter, -1.5 in the first half, -3.5 for the game. LeBron, 25-plus points. I know it's a little juicy. His number at some spots is 26, 27. We'll take the 25. We'll pay a little bit extra in the VIG. I think he comfortably gets to 25. He had an off night the other night, so getting there home. So we like Anthony Davis for 3+ blocks. I'm not going to touch his points, not going to touch his rebounds, but we think defensively he can get the blocks, as the Pacers like to drive the ball to the middle and shoot a bunch of threes. Then also LeBron over 7.5 rebounds. Anytime we can get LeBron at 8 rebounds and it's not super juicy, we're just going to bet it. It's one of those bets. He's 7 to 8 rebounds a night on a consistent basis. He doesn't normally have those nights of 2 to 3 rebounds. And he doesn't have a lot of nights of 12 rebounds. It's pretty consistently in between that 6 and 9 mark. So we'll take that 8 rebounds and go to the bank. So one more time in the Lakers Pacers game, Lakers -1 first quarter, -1.5 first half, -3.5 for the game. LeBron 25+ points, 8+ rebounds. Anthony Davis 3+ blocks. We'll probably have some more bets on that particular matchup and a couple other games. So do make sure at the end of every show that in the comment section you see a link to our Google Sheets. It'll read docs.google.spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. That is how, once you click into that link, you will get into our betting ledger. Now, when you get in there, I'll give you a slight tutorial. There are multiple sports and multiple seasons. So like baseball, for example, there's 2 years of baseball on there. So you'll see baseball 23, baseball 24, football 22, 23, football 23, 24. Also basketball 23, 24, the stuff we just went through today. And then you'll see another tab as well that reads like golf, Formula One, UFC, etc. Those are kind of like our non-mainstream sports that we do bet, and we like pass along that information as well. We're huge Formula One people. I love Formula One, even though sometimes it can be boring. As you watch the dude up front never get past. But to me, I love watching Formula One and all the stuff that surrounds it. So it's in there. We bet on it, and Formula One's normally pretty profitable for us as well. I wish golf was as profitable as Formula One. Put it to you that way. So make sure you check all those out when you get some time. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, if you can subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so when we drop an episode of bets, you get those first. Makes life extremely simple to find us. Once you hit that subscribe button, we show up in your subscriptions tab. And then if you turn on notifications for YouTube, you'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know we've dropped a new episode of bets. Give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.